robots are ready to take this match. Red Alliance already making their way across the field, trying to get any of these micro or macro particles, otherwise known as litter, into their center barge.
You've got Team Greece, Oman, and Nepal. Think about the mountains that they have climbed in order to be here competing against and alongside the Bahamas, St. Kitts and Nevis, and Slovakia.
The processing barge seems to be a popular choice in these competitions, but let's not forget that the reduction processing hubs can also accumulate a lot of points. Quantity is key, though, in these processing hubs. So you'll see teams trying to push through as many of those pollutants onto their respective corners of the field.
And one thing we'd like to see a little bit more of in these matches is that cooperation bonus. There are 80 pollutants that are dumped out onto this field. So think about the amount of work that's required to get those 80 pollutants in either one of the two designated spots in the field, be it a processing hub or be it that central barge. These robots in 2.5 minutes, that is an almost insurmountable task, but one that I know our athletes are trying to achieve, and they are up to the challenge.
Yeah, what I really appreciate about First Global in general, the way that they design these games, as we talked about before, is whether you have a background in robotics or electronics, or you have no background at all, and this is your first season, all teams are able to complete some form of the tasks that are given.
A lot of engineering and calculations are required, especially with those robots that have that flinging mechanism. Now, I don't know what the actual technical word for that is, but you really need to get your projection right so that it lands in that same spot every time.
I was going to say, being in education, at times this field can look like a cafeteria food fight. You see those micropollutants getting chucked all over the place. At times, some of those pollutants have actually escaped and eluded the field itself. You see those walls on the side. They do not contain the madness sometimes on the inside. So if you're walking around in between those 5 fields that we've got going, you got to keep your head on a swivel, no question.
Yeah, Red Alliance seems to be doing very well with these reuse. Each one of those microparticles you see in the top part of the barge are 6 points each, which is why you may see that their score is a little higher as the blue. We're down to our last 30 seconds. This is Endgame, where they can start their parking bonuses.
It's called Endgame?
Endgame is the last 30 seconds of every match.
That's got to be so epic. Okay, so another triple-digit score. We've got that Red Collection crew doing a great job. You're seeing those extending arms trying to work through these last 15 seconds. We'll see if any of those last second points end up giving the Blue Alliance a little bit of a leg up and an advantage. But in the meantime, these robots themselves are getting up. Take a look at them as they go.
Oh, I love ending the match with all of these robots elevated in the air. We'll see which the referees are able to count. You see cheering all over the sides of the field.
The enthusiasm that they have down there is one that we share, and it is infectious up here in the booth.
Oh, it's contagious.
Now, as the scores are getting tallied up, let's see if it's going to be the Red Alliance or the Blue Alliance that'll be winning this match.
It's very interesting to see the different types of drivetrains that you saw on there. You see some robots are trying to get up and trying to make their way to elevate themselves, but the field itself may be a little slippery, which we've seen in other competitions where you may have a drivetrain. You may do it in a wooden field, but this here is very different. The friction is very different.
And the fortune is very different for both of these alliances as well. It looks like